Hey everyone, this is Andrew with Music Mayhem magazine, and today we're here at singer-songwriter Cassadee Pope. Hey Cassadee, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
For sure. So obviously we have to just get right into this and start talking about your two new singles, What the Stars See and Say It First. I mean, I just really love how you blend that pop punk Hey Monday roots with your modern day country vibes. So let's start with talking about What the Stars See. You have Karen Fairchild on the track, producing the track and singing on it, as well
Mhm.
as Lindsey L doing some just crazy impressive guitar solos. And I mean, can you just tell us what it's been like working with those ladies?
Yeah, it's that whole thing came about because I was listening through demos to start recording my album with my producer Nick Wheeler and co-producer Karen Fairchild. And Karen actually, we listened to What the Stars See, the demo, and Karen was actually the one that was like, "Oh, this should be a collaboration. It sounds like it could be a really cool female empowerment moment." And she offered to sing on it, which was the best thing ever. I thought I'd have to ask, and I didn't have to, thankfully. And then I just thought of Lindsey because it's such a guitar-driven song, and I thought she would just kill that solo and just in general fit that song really well, performance wise even. So I got really lucky with them too being open to doing that. And also just the song's message is very vulnerable. It's very honest about wanting to see what your ex is doing right now. And the fact that I have two of my favorite people kind of endorsing that message with me makes me feel a little bit more confident when I perform it. So that was really fun. And my producer, Nick Wheeler, just killed the track. And it just felt like a really good hybrid of where I've come from the pop punk world, and where I've been the last, 9 years here in Nashville.
Definitely. I mean, Lindsay L's guitars on that song were just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That girl can shred on a guitar. I
Yeah.
mean, how did you guys form a friendship in the beginning? I know that you guys are pretty close friends, and I know she calls you like her work mom or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Like work wife.
Yeah, yeah, work wife.
Yeah. So she and I have really been in each other's lives for the last probably 8 years since I've been in town. I've been seeing her at shows and stuff. And it was really over the last like 4 years that we've gotten really close. We both kind of went through some tough changes in our personal lives a few years ago. And it was kind of crazy how we both were able to help each other through that and be there for each other. So, if I ever have an issue or something I need to talk through, she's the first person I call. She's the first person I think about. So, it's really, and it's great that she also just so happens to be an artist. That's kind of the cherry on top. It's not the reason we're friends. So, it helps that she gets where I'm coming from on that side too.
So, can we talk a little bit about your latest release, Say It First? I mean, that song is just incredible. I mean,
You.
I can't say enough nice things about this album so far of what we heard. I mean, it's just been great. So, can you
Thank
just tell us a little bit about that song?
Yes, I wrote that with Ross Copperman and Heather Morgan. It was a session that I really wasn't prepared for. I kind of went in not really being sure what to write about that day. And thankfully, Heather Morgan had an amazing title, Say It First. And I immediately just interpreted that as being the first person to say a relationship is over, even when the other person in the relationship knows it's over too. And I actually wrote that, not it wasn't one of the most recent songs I wrote. It was something that was from an older batch of songs. And since having written that, I've really gone through being the person to say it first, which it was really painful and really difficult. So I feel like I can sing it now with a different approach and a different perspective. The reaction has been amazing from fans that have just expressed like, yeah, I've been that person, or I was on the receiving end of someone saying it first, and it's really nice to hear that perspective. So it's been interesting to see how people interpret it.
Definitely. So, both of these songs are going to appear on your upcoming ninth studio album, Thrive, which is expected out later this year in the fall. Can you tell us maybe a little bit like how you chose the name Thrive and what it was like announcing that on the Kelly Clarkson show?
Oh, it was so cool. It was sort of an organic thing to happen. I was so excited to even just get on her show to perform What the Stars See, but then my team and I were like, should we use this opportunity to like promote the fact that there is an album? Because I've been keeping it a secret and under wraps. I've been working on this album, since like April of last year writing it and stuff. So that was really special to announce it on her show, where because I was like a mentor for her team a few years back on The Voice. So very full circle. But I chose the title Thrive because there's an actual song on the album called Thrive, and I wanted that to be the title track. That song is very empowering, and it's about how you can choose to survive something, or you could choose to survive and thrive from something terrible. And in my case, there's a few people from my past that I've survived for sure, that really added fuel to my fire, both career wise, personally, across the board. And I think that we all can kind of agree on the fact that those times can really shape us, and they can make us bitter, but they can also make us stronger. So I wanted that to kind of be the message of the album, of perseverance, but also just kind of acknowledging those tough times, and being willing to confront those, and talk about being wronged, and talk about your taking accountability of the things that I did wrong and all of that. So the album itself is just very well-rounded when it comes to confronting things from my past.
Which is definitely something that everybody in the world needs more than ever right now. I mean, we persevered through the last year and a half, still kind of sort of are doing that. But you previously shared that you're going to be blending your Hey Monday roots into your country story, so like songwriting, with this new record. So could you tell us a little bit more about the record and how it came to fruition?
Yeah, last year I actually was supposed to get in the studio around April and cut a few songs that I had written in 2019 that I loved. Obviously, I couldn't do that. And so it really forced me to sit back and think, are these songs really going to move the needle for me? Are they even what I'm truly wanting to do in this next chapter? And I think that I didn't realize I was really just trying to chase country radio. I was trying to chase the fitting into the country mold, and just the reflection, the stillness of the pandemic kind of made me think about what makes me unique and different is my history in rock music, and how I've really not been able to figure out how to incorporate it in my country career in a way that feels unique and different. And so I just made an intentional plan to go into sessions with people that could help aid me into this direction. So I wrote with a lot of rock writers, a lot of people I used to tour with, like Paul Giovanni from Boys Like Girls, and Kevin Bard, who was in Stereo Skyline, and Andy Albert, who was in Holiday Parade. So, and then next thing I know, I have this like pop punk country record that has country lyrics and storylines, but leans a little bit more pop rock, pop punk when it comes to the sonically and melodies and everything like that. But I had written with Nick Wheeler, my producer, at the time, didn't think he would be my producer, but I was getting his demos back and just being blown away by his sensibilities and his choices, and just the quality of these demos. And I just kind of went out on a limb and asked him if he would produce my project. And thankfully he didn't have anything going on production wise at the time where he couldn't fit me into his schedule. So I was able to lock him in. And we go way back to, when Hey Monday and his band All American Rejects toured with Fall Out Boy in, I think, 2009. And then we toured again on Warped Tour 2010 together. So that's kind of how he got involved, just by writing together. And then I found it really important to just make sure I kept my country elements intact, because that is who I am too. I grew up learning to sing on country music, and it is very much a part of my heart too. So I thought having somebody who's been such a mentor to me over the years, like Karen, involved would be kind of a game changer. And it really has been amazing to have her there along the way to co-produce and throw out references that are unique and different, and kind of keep that country element in the picture as well. So it came together really amazing. We got in the studio to record that whole album in like 4 days with the band in December. And just since then, I've been chipping away at the vocals and having some features being worked on, some more features for the album. So it's almost finished, and I'm just so proud of it.
So is there going to be any features that are from out of the country genre, like maybe from the Warped Tour scene?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Are you able to talk about that at all?
I know I can't talk about it yet because, well, there's one that we're literally editing right now and listening to, and then there's one that hasn't happened yet that I am, if it happens, I will just be the most excited person. But yeah, it's like I'm sort of superstitious, so I don't want to say it until it's like mastered,
For
sent
sure.
in, and everything, you know.
Definitely. So would you classify this album as more of like an emo country album or like a pop rock with country elements album?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I guess I listen to it and I think these songs are pretty pop punk, pop rock. And then I talked to Jonathan Daniel at Crush Management, and I sent him some songs because I wanted him to kind of tell me what he thought of it. And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, it still sounds country to me." So it really depends on the person and
Yeah.
you know what their ears pick up. But yeah, I think it'll be fun to see what people think what it classifies as, and that's what I love about it is I don't know either. Like it's just me, you know. I'm passionate about all those genres, so I guess it's up to the fans to decide what, you know, the main ingredient is.
Just you blending in those pop punk elements with country is just like, it really makes you stand out as an artist within all the genres, not just one, and it doesn't put you in a box.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about what it means to kind of keep the pop punk music scene alive within your music? As I know that right now in the mainstream, I mean, there's like people, Machine Gun Kelly, I mean, he released a pop punk record, went #1, still
Yeah.
going. I mean, it's been crazy to see all the different artists bringing the pop punk music back.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nostalgic for a lot of us at these certain ages. You know, I know that there's a pretty wide range of what pop punk is now, and I love that. I think that that's what makes that genre so special. Is there are so many different elements that separate these bands from each other, but also I think just the culture and the honest lyrics and the you know, unapologetic approach is what makes everybody in this genre pop punk. So I think it's important because it's kind of bringing us all back to where we found ourselves in. You know, I found my sound and myself and my personality during those years I was in Hey Monday and touring the world, or even just through listening to Take Off Your Pants and Jacket by Blink-182. Like I found myself in those ways, and sure, I was 18 and I had to find myself more later on. But I think it made me feel like I belonged, and like I had a group of people that felt the same, and we were very different, but we all kind of played in the same playground. I think that's what makes pop punk so special, and I love seeing it stick around. And there's definitely a resurgence, and I love seeing bands like All Time Low, who have been around for a long time, finally getting like #1s at radio. And I think that's such a huge validating thing for me, you know, going into this next chapter. Like, okay, well, I'm creating something that feels authentic to me, and it just so happens that it's coming back around. So that makes me feel excited.
Definitely. I mean, and even Demi Lovato joined them on that track Monsters. I mean,
Yeah.
she is one of those people helping keep pop punk alive right now. I mean,
I know, it's
no
so
nights
true.
and everything.
Yep.
So who would you say are like a few of the pop punk artists, or maybe even just the country artists, that have influenced you during this process of making the record? I mean, people that are out currently or even in the past, like growing up.
Yeah, I mean, Blink-182 has always been a huge influence, and there's a few songs that definitely lean very Blink on Thrive. I really loved the band Biffy Clyro, especially over just the last, like, I mean, I started listening to them when I was on The Voice, because
Mhm.
one of the runner-up of The Voice was Scottish, Terry McDermott, and he told me about Biffy Clyro, especially their latest record that just came out last year, that A Celebration of Endings, that album really influenced me sonically for this record. I also just always go back to old Avril Lavigne. The album Under My Skin has always been a huge influence songwriting wise, and just the angst behind it and the emotion behind the production. I've always loved Michelle Branch. Her first album, The Spirit Room, where I feel like she and John Shanks, her producer, created such a unique, special sound that I brought into this next project. So there's, and I think like Shania definitely she's always had an influence on me performance wise, but I think there's one song in particular on the album that leans very Shania. So all of these elements are very visible on the record.
Going back to the collaboration topic, without giving away anything that you already have done, is there, if you had to choose maybe 3 artists from the Warped Tour scene of things, to collaborate with on a new song, who would you choose and why would you choose them? I seen on your TikTok, you recently shared the little mashup of Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You, where it switches into Paramore. And I was like, someone asked you, can you put this like out as a cover on your own? You're like, oh, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Or do you ever see yourself maybe doing that and collaborating with Hayley Williams? That would be a moment right there.
That would be amazing. Like it's something that I did try, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but she's so great. And obviously Paramore and Hey Monday we were sort of like in the same world, but Paramore obviously blew up, and we sort of got on a hiatus during that time. But I've always just thought her voice is one of the best in the genre, and just in general, she's got an incredible voice. So that would be great. I love Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl would be somebody that I would just love to sing with. He's a badass, and just writing something with him would be really special. And well, I've always loved Weezer, and their new record is like so insanely good. It's all of the things I love about Weezer on one record. So singing with Rivers Cuomo would be insane.
Definitely. So can we talk about Hey Monday for just a second? You guys had your reunion concert back in 2019 in Nashville's Exit In, which was just crazy to see videos from. Do you ever foresee Hey Monday coming and making a return, releasing some new music together in the future, or maybe even doing a Cassadee Pope Hey Monday mix tour?
Oh man, double duty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, totally. I think that's why we never wanted to say that we broke up, because we all felt like this isn't something that's never going to happen again. It's just it was really my decision to leave and pursue my solo career. So I felt like it was really important to make sure that I put my solo career first and really put all of my efforts into it. Because once you start to break off and spread your attention, and especially in my case, still really trying to build something here, you can kind of miss out on opportunities and stuff. So I'm not quite there yet, but I think eventually definitely a reunion of some sorts, or whatever, maybe a new song or something could be great. But it might be a minute. But we were like, we loved the reunion show so much that we were going to do it yearly, and then the pandemic happened, so sort of set us back a little bit. But that's definitely something that we'll do again. Maybe there's no new music that comes out with it, but a reunion show is like so fun. We had the best time.
Definitely. And the last single Hey Monday release was Candles. I know you mentioned previously that you would really enjoy like putting that out as a country single, and
well, yeah,
that just celebrated its 10-year anniversary this year. So that's amazing. Do you have any plans to maybe celebrate that?
Yeah, it's so funny. There's all of these really monumental dates and stuff. And thank God for social media and my fans, because sometimes they think like dates just float on by, and I'm like, whoa, that's a big deal. How did I miss that? So I didn't even know that until you just said it. So thank you for telling me. I will celebrate accordingly. But yeah, I remember it's so weird. I went on my first country radio tour right after The Voice in 2013, and I was blown away at how many country program directors at these radio stations, at these country radio stations, came from rock radio stations. And there were a few that I had met way back in the day with Hey Monday. And they were like, there are a few of them were like, would you ever release Candles as a country song? Because that feels like a country song. And I had just heard that over the years. And so that's why it just kind of stuck with me. Like, I mean, maybe I would re-release it. I don't know. But it gets tricky with the master, like Columbia owning the master and all that. So I don't know how that would work. But I wrote that with Mike. So we could probably figure something out.
Definitely. So go into your days on The Voice. I see your trophy back there, which is just incredible.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so have you been in touch at all with your coach since The Voice, like with Blake?
Yeah, so he just had his, gosh, what was it? His 10th year anniversary, 10-year anniversary of being on The Voice. And we all sent in videos and congratulated him. And he reached out and thanked me for that. And he held my album release party for Stages at Ole Red a few years ago. So he's definitely continued to be supportive, and he's taking Lindsey out on tour, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to go visit her out there and visit him too. And yeah, it's been really great to have somebody in your corner like Blake. You know, he's awesome. He's so supportive.
He seems to be very supportive of everyone. If you win or you don't win the show, he still seems to be very like in the corner of all the people who ever made his team on The Voice. So that's really nice of him. I mean, superstar there. I mean, did you see his wedding pictures? They're like, whew.
I know.
I mean, that's just crazy.
They did it right.
So I know you mentioned that this album was mostly written throughout quarantine. What would you say would be like one thing that you maybe learned about yourself during this time off the road? I mean, I know it's probably been a really tough year for everyone, especially musicians, because you're used to probably touring 75% or more of the year. So being home, like, what have you learned about yourself?
I learned that I need to do better at finding my self-worth in myself and not my career. I've always felt better or more confident when I'm busy and have stuff going on and I have new music out. Like that feeds my confidence a lot, which I think is normal, but I don't want to rely on that because last year happens and hopefully it never happens again, but you just never know. And when you get that rug pulled out from under you, I mean, I was just faced with myself and like, what do I have to offer if I'm not doing music? And just working through that and making sure that I don't sell myself short, that I'm just a musician. I'm a person. I have a lot of great qualities and things to offer. And that was a big piece of work that I had to do. And just, you know, and also missing playing shows. Like I don't really get adrenaline like that from anything else. I mean, maybe a roller coaster, but not the same thing. And not having that for a really long period of time kind of started to mess with me. And it took me a minute to really be able to identify why it was I was feeling kind of down and sad. And it was like, oh, well, there's this thing that I have all the time usually that like really makes me feel like high on life. So just kind of working through those things and trying to find that feeling elsewhere in my life and not have to rely just on that constantly to feel validated. So yeah,
definitely.
Interesting.
So aside from your new music and everything you've been working on, what else is next for you in 2021? Is there any tour plans in the works or?
Yeah, where I'm having a meeting today with my management about touring and shows and just getting the ball rolling on those things. Cause yeah, I mean, like I just said, I feel the best when I'm on stage and when I'm on the road. And going back to the Hey Monday days, I'd be gone for like 3 months at a time. It wasn't the weekend warrior thing that I have been doing the last few years. So I kind of want to get back to that and just get on the road for long periods of time and get overseas and travel the world and go to the places I haven't been back to since Hey Monday, like Japan and Brazil and Indonesia. Like that's what I want. And so really just thinking bigger here as far as like a global approach to touring is my next goal.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to chat with us. And we really look forward to the rest of the new album.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.